afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to what has suddenly morphed into a very special edition of Howling About Entertainment here on this January 3rd, the very first show of 2021. Joining me today is, of course, 32 Flavors of Nick Wiza. How you doing, Flavor Flavs?
I am exquisite. Thank you for asking.
And another regular on the channel, our good friend Mythir Draco Argentus. How are you, Draco?
Oh, sir, thank you very much.
Outstanding. And joining us, a blast from the past, U.S. Dutch Kitty. How are you this fine afternoon? Because we all got some amazingly good news, which is why you've joined us today.
Yes. Even though you can't see it, I am bouncing off my chair right now. I can't wait.
Very good. And back for his, second or third appearance on the stream, just another red shirt. Hail, sir.
Hail, Jake D. Yeah, I am, with this news, I am officially fine and dandy at the same time.
And dandy.
And, well, dandy if you do. And our good friend of the channel, you know her from the chat as Ginger Hosley, the not Ginger Ginger. Good evening.
It is indeed a fine evening, Jake. A good, if not great evening here across this land.
Yes.
Man, I'll tell you, you make all these plans about, you get some things together, some topics that you want to talk about, and put your show together, and you say, you know what, we're going to talk about this, and we're going to talk about this, and we're going to talk about this. And sometimes, life just throws you a nice slow one right over the middle of the plate. We didn't get a curveball today, ladies and gentlemen. We got a nice fat one. And
We're gonna go.
and
We hit it.
The six
It
of
went
us.
dead center. Bases
Yep.
are loaded.
You didn't expect to point to the middle, but you ended up doing it anyway.
It was the bottom of the ninth. We were down by 3. The bases were loaded, and the improbable pinch hitter just crunched the grand slam. The news that we've got today. So let's just really quickly say hello to those in the chat. We have got Lord Thoth here. Good evening, Lord Thoth. Man of War 665, the neighbor of the beast. Hello. And Mary G asking, what happened? Was KK fired?
Oh,
Maybe that'll be next.
God,
Step in the right direction.
See, 2021 is off to a good start, guys.
Yeah.
yes, it is.
Man, I would. This news is perhaps better than KK getting fired. And we're just going to go straight to the headlines, direct from the UK. This is being reported by all major news outlets in the United Kingdom. So our brothers and sisters across the pond, thank you so much for brightening our day here in America. Jodie Whittaker quit after 3 years as the Time Lord. And this is coming to us from, let's see, which article do I have up? The Daily Mirror. Doctor Who bosses are planning for the Time Lord's 14th regeneration after Jodie Whittaker decided she will leave after the next series, which airs in the UK in the autumn of this year. Hot damn!
Celebrate good time. Come on.
Now, we got to preface this and also dedicate this news to Neurotic, who, it's like, hey, Daily Mail, look. Yay!
Yes. And of course,
Hashtag Gary was right.
Gary was
Exactly.
and this, of course, was not limited just to the Daily Mirror. It's also being reported by The Sun.
Yep.
And it's also being reported by the Daily Mail. All three really of kind of the major entertainment news outlets that I personally use for the UK centric type stuff. And I think we'll leave it up on the Sun because the Sun has the least obnoxious amount of ads of these three sites. Jodie Whittaker's doctor has quit after 3 years. And yes, hashtag Gary was right.
That's going to be the mantra for the rest of the week.
Damn straight is.
Yeah. So what they're saying so far is in what limited amount of news is available, it is absolutely confirmed that Jodie has quit, which this, of course, comes right on the tail of just about 10 days ago, reports in the tabloid-ish type news that her agent was urging her to leave the show.
Urging, spicy. You need to quit.
So,
Actually, I'm interested.
Go ahead, Drake.
I just one point I want to bring up here. Since you got the Sun on the screen and there is a paragraph there, I want to highlight her departure is top secret, but at some point over the coming months, the arrival of the 14th Doctor. Didn't we just fuck that up?
We did.
We did indeed.
We did.
I want to interject an interesting factoid. I was just looking on Twitter. This is not trending at all. To give you an idea of how little people care, it is not trending.
They probably won't know until about like an hour from now.
Yeah, these news articles hit within the last 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is as late breaking a story as it is possible to have on this particular show. My goodness. The first female doctor played by Jodie Whittaker, whom we lovingly call Dr. Karen, is no more. Yes, ding dong, the witch is gone. So, as you guys can tell, we're all having a bit of a jubilant reaction to this news. Most of us heard it within the last 10 minutes. So,
Yep.
Flava Flavs, I want your instant hot take on this news.
Well, as I'm sure most of you know, I'm more of, as far as Doctor Who goes, I'm a bit of a normie. I've only seen bits and pieces, but I'm very, very well aware of the stigma and the controversy, that raunchy stench, that pungent stench that is Dr. Karen. So, because I'm aware of that, I empathize with that pain, the fever, the rage. And I am happy for all of you guys. I am ecstatic for all of you guys. I may not be as knowledgeable, and I will admit that. I've seen bits and pieces. I've always found it historically entertaining. Just unfortunately something I never got around to. But I feel this victory for you guys so hard, and I will smile for you guys all night. Be gone!
Be
Now!
gone!
Get out!
All right.
You're fired!
All right, so
go on.
let's move. Draco, hot take on this news, my friend.
It's not enough.
Concur.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
know.
Agreed.
Yeah.
My hot take still sinks back to, we know that there was a package deal that created the current situation in Doctor Who, and as much as I mean, I almost don't have that much of an issue with Jodie. I just don't think she was not the Doctor. She never was. Shouldn't have been. But there is still rot in the BBC, and that's still got to be fixed. But perhaps at least not to bring this down completely, it's a step in the right direction.
Very good. So, U.S. Dutch Kitty, hot take on this news.
Well, like I said, first Jodie, now maybe Chibnall soon after. Sorry for my dog. Pretty please with cherry on top.
Yes, please, pretty please. Oh my goodness. Oh, that would be wonderful. So your reaction is yay.
Yay,
But
cautious. Get Chibnall out. Hopefully, maybe he'll exit later on. They'll announce his exit if he does. And I think Ginger and I will talk about this later about the new guy and our theory.
we will absolutely get into that because that popped into my head as well.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. All right, red shirt, hot take.
The lesser of two evils is defeated.
Yes.
I like
Yeah,
that.
you have the best voice for that.
It does.
Oh,
Yeah. It's not enough. It's not sufficient to even have a prayer of restoring Doctor Who. My true fear is that you couldn't, the BBC wouldn't hire another Russell T Davies and another David Tennant or even Christopher. They don't have the culture for it anymore. So it's better.
Wait. Did you just say the BBC will not hire a gay man as a showrunner again?
Oh yeah, no, they won't because
He's white. Sorry.
he's a traitor. He's a
Yeah.
traitor. Okay, he's not. He is insufficiently woke, and he's not qualified for the job.
Yeah.
So, I think it would be better, but even if they got a really good showrunner and they were able to do it, I think we'd go right back to where the BBC is. There are rumblings from the people in the BBC that want to change that back. They liked it this way. Now, they liked it this way because they were collecting taxpayer money from all the ratepayers in the UK. They didn't have to care how big their audience was. But yeah, I think that it's a good start. Getting a decent showrunner in would be a better indicator that at least somebody at the BBC says, well, maybe we should try and let them do something that'll bring in more money. Because you mentioned Top Gear, JT, the other day, and I mean, yeah, Top Gear had audience numbers that not even their own staff believed. I read a book, insider's book, and when their viewing numbers started coming back as numbers like 300 million. The response from the staff was, you pulled the other one. It's got bells on it. But Doctor Who has the staying power. Doctor Who has been around as long as I have, and
does this look like Doctor Who to you here, red shirt?
No. It looks like an advertisement for a women's clothing brand that my wife would laugh at. I'm not even sure my mother would wear that.
It just
Robbers.
has something geeky right behind it to make it relevant.
Right. And notice they've covered up every piece of writing on the TARDIS or cropped it. And no, they did leave it. Okay. I was about to say, if that was the whole photo, that was a carefully edited photo, which would have been perfect for Jodie. Because it doesn't look like the Doctor. She's just standing out. Yeah, go next.
All right, Ginger, you have been. Yeah, I can see you've been holding it in. It is. We need your hot take on this news, my friend.
It's still gonna suck.
Yeah.
Like, I hate to be like a Debbie Downer, but like it's like the catharsis of 4 years of just being so angry and miserable about this show has released from my body into the air. But at the same time, I'm like, the show's still gonna suck because of everything that's been touched on. If Chibnall is still there, it's gonna suck. But the biggest problem is still the fact that it's still the BBC. Unless they have a major cultural shift in the next 2 years, there is like nothing's going to change, and that's just a big problem with entertainment overall. However, it has been mentioned, maybe they have to change their tunes when they're no longer taxpayer subsidized. They might have to change their tunes when ratings collapse actually means something to them. Like they might have to look back and go, "Oh, we need to make a product that makes money."
Yeah.
Rajesh, I was reading that.
Yeah, 100% woke and would rather collapse than change their ways. So he
Yeah.
prays people continue canceling the $157.50 pounds a year in the license fee, which, for those of us across the pond here, that's a couple $100 a year that you got to pay in the license fee for the BBC, which they, of course, have used to subsidize their wokeness, not having to care if they have a profitable product.
Random question. Is that fee per household or per person?
My understanding is per household, but perhaps Rajesh can confirm that for us.
Well, that's a lot of people and a lot of money.
Yeah, that's what I always understand. It's like the household.
Okay.
Yeah. Worse than the rabbit costume from A Christmas Story.
And we don't know that Chibnall is going to stay on, because do recall that when Moffat left, he was leaving first. Capaldi made it sound like he was going to stay on, but then Capaldi left later. So this could be a shift.
Yeah, or what he kind of said, kind of didn't say, he was pushed out.
There's a lot of backstory there, but that came at those announcements of those leavings did come at two separate times. So it is not out of the question to think that we know she's leaving now. Maybe in 2 weeks or 2 months, Chibnall is also gone. We don't know. That could happen soon too, which would be another step in the right direction. But the BBC culture probably is going to still be the problem.
I mean, if we're looking at this of the way of the streaming wars and with what the BBC will have to do in some way to make money, is again make something that people will like, make something that the normies will gravitate to. And what are normies gravitating to right now? That just finished like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. The Mandalorian. You know why? Because it's not woke. Because it has people that care about it doing it. That's all you got to do.
Absolutely.
And we'll start flocking.
Yeah.
You put Luke Skywalker in for 5 minutes, and we're jumping for joy.
with horrible CGI, and yet it was still boring people. So Max brings up an interesting point here. Just under 4.7 million viewers on the initial overnight numbers, which is the first time since the reboot of the show that the annual special has gone down in viewership, right? Which was down from The Timeless Children, which should have been one of the highest rated shows that they ever aired.
I'm just laughing. I'm just laughing. It's like, it's incompetence. It's like, you guys really think your stuff doesn't stink, do you?
Yeah.
And then we see that evidence with a bunch of other programs here on our side of the pond that have decided to go woke and don't care that their numbers have fallen. They're like, no. Actually, it's fine. It's fine. Don't say that we're down 49% in viewership. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah. We're not panicking. We're not panicking. Look at us. We're not panicking.
And Rajesh has confirmed it's per household.
Okay.
But he's also said per property owned. So I'm assuming that means if I've got a condo in London and I also have a house outside the city, I got to pay for both. That's
okay.
Makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I guess I can conceive that, right? So.
I do like the whole of the country is locked down, and they get figures like that. What does that say?
Yeah.
And then Jaffo says he thought normies liked pornos. So Raylo, Ginger is the queen of understanding shipping. We've had some recent conversations on this issue. So
I can talk
guess what my T-shirt is right now, Jake.
I can talk shipping too. I just need the right stream for that.
we will not. Like, I know that we're the two women on this stream, so I understand what we're supposed to bring, but we won't bring that up on this stream. How about that? That's the agreement.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I do think shipping is more of a lady thing than it is a guy's thing.
Yes.
I mean, I don't imagine that Red Shirt, were you a pretty heavy Raylo shipper?
I thought shipping was something that Amazon did.
I'm an expert on both kinds of shipping.
Now
Oh my
I need my Odin's old man voice because I don't know what the heck you youngsters are talking about.
I can carry on extensive rants about the USPS and about the state of Doctor Who shipping. I'm an expert in both fields.
Yeah, flashing. Yeah. But I just had an epiphany. You know what they're going to be doing this season, right? Going into shipping. Yaz and 13. So if they're going to be a whole regeneration thing, what's going to happen with that?
I'm so excited. I just want to see the Phantom Tears. I just want to see this so badly because now we know definitively that this is not going to be a thing that lasts.
No, I mean, that's what they're talking about. Oh, we're gonna have the first, all-female TARDIS, and they're gonna end up, and it's like, nope.
But the very first penisless TARDIS was spoiled with the New Year's special.
Mm-hmm.
So Nick is very kindly holding our phallic stand-in there, which is being brought to the TARDIS courtesy of a new character.
It lights up too.
That they tell us is named Dan.
Yeah.
So here's something I want to explore a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the fact that I have never seen, and I've been watching Doctor Who in the reboot era since, I suppose I want to say 2011, give or take, was when I got back into it. I loved it when I was a kid. I'd watch Tom Baker on PBS with my dad, which was great. Him and Davidson were kind of the two I remember seeing the most when I was a kid on PBS. And but I got really back into Who around 2011, give or take. And I've never seen an introduction like what was done for Dan of a companion ever.
We only saw this one other time, not with the companion, but with the War Doctor. Remember that?
Yes, I do.
So,
That's the only thing similar to what we got with the introduction of Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would they do that unless he's important?
They're both named John too.
Yeah. but yeah, when I saw, introducing, John Bishop, it's like, why does this look familiar? And I went straight to John Hurt.
Man of War, I just got a thing I ordered about 28 days ago, yesterday. Taking some time, my man.
On the topic of shipping not being very good recently, I did receive a package from the USPS yesterday that was sent via 2-day priority mail. And it was
how long did it take?
It was postmarked December 18th.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, yes.
I am receiving something either tomorrow or the next day that was actually 5 hours away from me when it shipped finally on the 22nd of December.
I got sent a
5
Christmas
hours.
card
I
about
could
3
have
weeks
done
ago by somebody who lives 25 minutes away from me, and I still haven't received it yet.
What?
Yeah.
You might as well just met up for that card.
I know.
Yeah, here's the card.
Yeah.
I could have walked it there and back.
That reminds me of a science fiction short story of a guy who decided to make a bet with his friend. He bet him that he could prove that the Postal Service delivers packages or letters inversely proportional to the distance the letter needs to go.
This is true.
So he wrote 3 letters that simply said, "When you get this letter, please give me a video call as soon as you get it, here's my video call number. And he put them in the 3 envelopes, and he puts postage on it. The first one is addressed to his next door neighbor. The second one is addressed to a friend on the moon. And the third one is addressed to someone who is approximately halfway across the Milky Way. Well, an hour after he put them in the mail, he got a call from his friend in halfway across the galaxy. The next day, he got a call from the moon, and a month later, he got a call from his next door neighbor saying, "Why did you send me this?"
Yeah. I'm in Chicago.
no
I've had it shipped up to
reason.
Honolulu, Hawaii. For some reason, that gets there in like 4 days. And then, but yeah, stuff that went to Michigan took about 3 weeks. So good times. Good times, my friends. But yeah, Dan.
Yeah.
Here's my one complaint. Like a weird complaint. Why is his name Dan? We just had Danny 5 years ago. Like,
Yeah.
Can you seriously could not name him like Dave or Clive or something?
Yeah, because he doesn't look like a man.
So good.
I mean, it's so simple. You can't do anything original. You gotta take another person's name and just not Danny, just chop it.
That's my
I know
one. That's
you
like my
say
big
that.
complaint. I'm like, you
You're
couldn't be
just-
more original with his name,
You're
really.
describing Hollywood 101 and UK and America. Let's be real here.
Yes, we're talking about originality. Originality is one of those things I would put in the category of a good thing. I don't think they're capable of the good things, so just think opposite.
But
Yeah.
just there's so many characters in Doctor Who that it's a pain when sometimes the actors share names like Tom Baker and Colin Baker, but like at least with characters you control that. And I just don't understand why they decided to go with the name that they literally had for a character literally 6 years ago.
Yeah, they could. I mean, they could have went through a baby name website and be like, who does? What does this look like to me?
America.
Josh,
people that
Bill,
Umberto.
Ray.
Dude, I'm all
Here.
for Umberto. That would be.
Yeah.
Let's go with
Umberto.
Umberto. Why not?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Where's your diversity, BBC? I want Umberto.
Do we want to talk about the fact that like the first penisless TARDIS is ruined not just by a man, but by a white man? And not just by a white man, but by like a middle-aged white man
And
And a
good
scouser.
and a
Well, they-
silver fox? Like what?
I know. It's just like, get away, come back.
Yeah. Like I didn't watch the special. My friend linked me to the tweet, which had the little announcement trailer, and she's just like, look at this. And I watch it and I go, what the hell is this? I like the BBC is dangling keys in front of me. They're like,
Yep.
hey Ginger, we know what you like. I was like, yeah.
So, Ginger, is a silver fox in the TARDIS enough to get you to watch Dr. Karen?
Oh God, no. Like, come on. Because the thing is, like the instant like I watched this and I'm just floored. I'm flabbergasted that this character is the new companion. Because from my understanding, it was kept totally under wraps, like the casting. So I thought, we are going to just have 13 and Yaz in the TARDIS for the next season. We know where that's going to go. But then this like bombshell that there's going to be a new companion and it's going to be this hot middle-aged guy. Like, what? I was just shocked. And then, but I'm just thinking like the next second I go, what are they going to do to ruin him? Like,
Well, clearly Dan is not his name; it's his gender, as Max has figured out.
This is something that I was thinking along the lines of, even when you brought it up, I'm going like it couldn't be that simple, regardless of the fact that they should do a simple silver fox. I was going for transgender, I was going for gender identity, I was going for all these possible things that they could, because that seems more believable to me now than an actual good, solid story, origin, characterization.
Yeah.
All of it.
Well,
like he's probably going to be gay. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's like one of those things where your mind is just like, he can't just be a straight white guy on the TARDIS because that just isn't going to be allowed in current year. Like it's just like, you're so.
It's not even just that. It's that one thing that they say, but it's that right off the bat, if that were to be the situation, that's how they will lead with it. Like, well, this is Jake, and he's gay.
Yeah, right.
That's how they're going to promote it.
It's usually, hi, I'm gay. My name is Jake.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, by the way, you can call me Jake.
I mean, they did that with a guard. You know, we didn't even get his name. He's like, first thing, oh, I'm gay. Hello. You know, so, you know, they could even, okay, this is making me go down a rabbit hole of like names of why Dan. And it's like, there's even a name, Gay Lord. Gay. They could have named him Gay. We were like, okay. At least you're putting it right.
There might have been two on the nose.
Yeah.
Is anything too on the nose for the BBC?
I mean, okay, that's fair.
Yeah,
You're right.
yeah.
If they wanted to give him a name but not have it be that on the nose, it would be Bruce
What about Lance? Lance would work.
or Nigel.
I mean, you know, here's the thing. Look, put gay characters in your shows. Absolutely do it. But do it like the fucking Expanse does it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So we're going from, you know, having a long discussion here about perhaps one of the most destroyed shows on televisions into probably the best show on television right now. So The Expanse has got lots of gayness in it.
Mm-hmm.
There's bunches of it. LGBT all over the place. And nobody cares because it's part of the story. It makes sense. It works.
Wait. I care, but it's not about that. I care about the characters. I care about these stories. I care about these people who are gay, who identify as all sorts of things, and I identify as something else, and it doesn't matter to me because I still care about them.
It's about
I
the
am
story.
interested in them. I want them to succeed, or I want them to fail if they're the bad guys, or something like that. I care about them no matter what they identify as because they are people that I see things in and I understand, and their motivations are the important thing, and the story and the reason why they're there, and that's all I want. I want to believe in these people and be invested in their own story the way they are.
So, Draco, would you say these are the pronouns in your bio?
I wouldn't say that.
I mean, that was a long pause, so.
So I mean, let's talk about Drummer for a minute in The Expanse, right? So Drummer is among the most popular characters in The Expanse. Lots of reasons. She's a badass. She's loyal. She's got character development. She's got in-depth relationships with a lot of the major and minor characters that we care about. And not only is Drummer all of those amazing things, she's also I mean, I'm not sure if she's a lesbian, if she's bi, she's whatever, but you know, we see her in a relationship with a woman in the latest season, and nobody cared, right? Because it was still Drummer. It didn't matter who she was kissing or who she was getting out of bed with. This was Drummer. It's a woman that you love and you root for and you want to see her succeed. Because what did Drummer not do when we met her?
Identify herself.
Yeah.
Yes, she did not announce her sexuality because it's what she does and who she is that matters, not whether she, you know, scissors or gets cornholed. None of that matters, right? It's irrelevant to whether you care about the character. Yes, Drummer is belter-sexual.
Her whole bloody crew is, for all we know.
As someone who hasn't watched The Expanse, the fact that Jake is dying right now is all the entertainment I need.
Yeah.
That is so good. Belter-sexual. I'm sorry, that is just so good.
No. Go on.
Yeah,
Go
go
hoppy
on.
in this
Let
mix
it
of
out.
hoppy. Go on.
Man. Whew.
What?
the
I
endorphins
read that
come
comment
out, Nick.
wrong.
Yes, Dumbledore was gay and used his wand for good. Absolutely.
I'm sure he did.
Yes, exactly right. She's believable, and her character has depth because there is a hell of a lot more important things about her character than whether or not she's built or sexual. All right, and so that's what an audience truly gravitates to. And there's so much more to a person than who they love.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And who they love is only important in the sense that you hope they get fulfillment.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
In a character.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I
It
mean,
usually comes down to what are the impetus for several dramatic points in a story that has to do with, a lot of times it's relationship impetus. I mean, one of her main reasons for being, and one of her most interesting reasons for being, is her relationship with Ashford. And that whole thing is driving, I mean, that's not even the same type of relationship, but it's still a relationship, and it's still going to drive her to do things that we want to know how this plays out.
yes. Your relationships matter, right? Not necessarily not who they're with, but what they are.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, we know she's got the relationship. The relationship with her significant other on the ship is important. She has weight with her. She's a sounding board and a confidant. You can tell that. And we got that all, and that's important. These are good, well-developed story plots for these characters. And this is important in their little group there, because at the same time that they're discussing these issues and what they're going to do about Marco and what he's doing with his Free Navy, they take it and they discuss it. She is still the leader of her group, but she takes it and discusses it, and she's open with a family that we care more about than certain other families. But that's another.
Exactly.
All of the members, these are people who are important to her. She eats dinner with them. They are people who care about her and care about what her opinion is, because she's leading them, and she's leading them well.
Yes.
This is interesting stuff.
Absolutely. It's
more.
everything that the first female doctor, played by Jodie Whittaker, whom we will lovingly refer to as Dr. Karen, is not.
Yes.
It's everything that Dr. Karen is not.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and if we take this back to the way a character is introduced, and you see the hints of who they prefer, is Captain Jack. And that first scene, he's very, he's a swashbuckler and all this. Oh, okay, this is new. And then when he talks about the soldier he was talking about, that he was having a relationship, it was so subtle that you almost have to do a double take. It's like, did I hear that right?
Yes, I did.
And then when it slowly comes out more, it's like, but he was vital to the story, and he was in some ways at first the bad guy because what he did, but he's like, hey, I want to be better. You guys make me want to be better. Can I come?
I mean, by the end of the Doctor Dances, which is the second episode with Captain Jack Harkness, he has blatantly flirted with 5 or 6 different individuals of all genders.
Including
the doctor.
Including the doctor.
I think what you could probably take away, because like because I'm really into fandom, or at least I was really into Doctor Who fandom like 3 years ago, and then I basically after 2017 I kind of like stopped caring about modern Doctor Who. But I would say what you could see is that the problem is that the fandom mindset has gotten into a lot of how things are produced. So for example, Captain Jack has lots of layers and complexity, but the fandom commonly interprets him as, oh, he's just really sex crazed. And that's kind of just all the fandom really thinks about, is he is just his escapades across, time and space and all this kind of stuff. Whereas, but then that mindset has permeated into how a lot of shows are made. which is why I think when people are like, I need more substance to this character, a lot of showrunners or writers are just like, well, what more do you want? We made them super gay. Isn't that what you want?
Yeah, it really feels at time that they have people go into like Archive Our Own or fanfiction.net and be like, what's trending on them writing stuff, which couples, like 13 and Yaz. People from the get-go. Oh my gosh, after that first episode, I remember going to Archive Our Own and people were setting that up after the first episode with 13. And they're like, oh, we gotta get it. And I really do think they have people that research fandom.
Well, if you look at the roster of characters, like the roster of writers, I should say, like they're kind of pulled from nowhere. They have no pedigree, or they have no science fiction pedigree, and they can write soap operas, and that's really about it.
Yeah, they've written for BBC daytime soaps. It's like the equivalent of The Bold and the Beautiful in the States.
Yeah, Days Are Alive.
And I've read really good fan fiction because like there are people who are like good writers. They like to dick around with characters that are already established. It's the reason I draw fan art, because I like to draw things that are already existing. But there is, like this whole idea of I just think and you see this commonly with a lot of cartoons nowadays, like She-Ra. I will always say that Avatar: The Last Airbender does not have a sequel because The Legend of Korra is hot garbage. That is my true hot take opinion. But like I can even say that like that was a show that basically kind of like devolved into the character's just this and that's all the fandom cares about, which is like, no, we need more than that to really get invested in these shows and these characters. And it's like when I hear about you guys talk about a show, like I had the Orville pitched to me for years, and then I finally watched it and I was like, oh wow, this show is really good. And like it has a bunch of different things going on and like all kinds of different characters and different things. But I'm like, oh, this show is really good because the characters are really interesting and like things are like cool and interesting and like what's going on. Oh, I have emotions and feelings.
I mean, like you keep talking about about a girl. That is for a lot of people would be very progressive nowadays for TV, but the way they did it in the Star Trek way, of allegory, and it doesn't have a happy ending.
Episode killed me.
See?
Like I was watching The Expanse with my boyfriend, and I'm like, this show is really funny. Oh, Seth MacFarlane, what do you like? And then that episode, I think, is the first real one that like really punches you because it shows that there's actual complexity and depth to the show, and it ends on what I see as a downer, and it just ends. And I was like,
yeah.
And Rahish, this is interesting. So they're pulling their ideas off of a Slack channel that they're all in, right? Grouped together, because they don't leave their offices and they don't even really leave their homes.
No,
each employee was given £250 towards a chair for lockdown.
That's where all the chairs went.
Yeah.
To be fair, I did get a couple $100 towards a chair from my company when we got locked down as well.
That's where all the chairs went.
I had to buy my own chair.
Mine was a Christmas present, so
I just didn't get fired. I was pretty excited about that.
I feel like Charlie Brown at Halloween. I got a rock.
Dana White.
If
Dana White did that, if he ran the BBC, he would make them like eat their own heads off, and it would not be a good time. Right? And he would yell at all of them every single minute of the day. Have you seen the way that guy speaks online?
And then they televise it to make some revenue. Damn it! Gotta make up our deficit.
All executive meetings will be pay-per-view events.
Oh God, pay-per-view.
I mean, if we had that for Lucasfilm, you know how much money they would make? Just kind of like them just
Jake, do you work for the BBC? You gotta tell us if you do.
I work for a software company based out of Palo Alto, California. So they sent us all home and they gave us each a $200 stipend to get shit that we needed for our home offices. So.
200, yes. That's not enough.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. The big desk that you see here, that came out of my own pocket. Yeah. But I did get a really nice chair for that $200. When you got to sit in, any office-ish environment for 8-10 hours a day, you need a nice chair.
Yeah. Being an artist, doing one piece of work for 6 hours, you need a nice chair.
I think my $5 thrift store chair is pretty all right. I love $200 for a chair.
I had a $30 Walmart little crappy roller chair, and after a couple of months, it was no.
There's no butt padding. It's gone. It's worthless.
Yeah. You're assuming it had any to begin with.
Well.
Actually, I was surprised at how much a good chair. Now that I'm sitting several hours a day, either watching or wrenching on YouTube streams and whatnot, I paid a couple $100 for a chair, and I've already ordered its replacement.
Oh,
for about twice as much money, because I weigh more than most office chairs think you should.
Oh, I was going to say, because now there's like a black market for office chairs. And
either that
basically true.
Yeah, either that or everybody's going for those gamer chairs.
That's what I bought.
Those gamer chairs.
I love this chair stream now.
So I worked at home briefly. I worked at home for about 2.5 months, and then I went back to the office because I was like, I will kill myself if I work from home for much longer. I cannot work this way. And at my office, I have a wonderful Serta chair that I can sit my butt in for 8 hours a day, and I dreamed of it when I wasn't in the office. So Serta makes mattresses, but also they make really good chairs. There you go. There's my advice.
Yeah, there you go. I went to an Office Max, and I sat in probably 20 chairs trying to decide which one I was going to roll with. And I got the one that I got here, and it's served me very, very well for the past 7-8 months. Does it have a seat warmer? No, but that would be nice.
It would be. I like that. I can sit in my chair like cross-legged. I can do all kinds of kick flips and tricks at the office. Yeah, I wheel across the office. I bump into walls. It's a great time.
See, we're so happy Jodie's gone. We're just
I know.
I'm just elated.
So New Year's Day, I was so excited about Twitter crying with the revelation about Danny and the Targets. I was like, yes, cry harder. Oh, this is going to be so great. And then today, Jodie's leaving, and I'm like, yes, cry even harder. It's going to be so much better the next couple months.
Where's I really need to have the little clip of Cartman, oh yes, cry for me. Oh, you're so sweet.
You can have that at the ready.
Oh, they're so sweet.
I need a hot button for that.
Where's Perry Chan when you need him?
and I don't understand why in the last 2 years that no YouTuber has come up with the idea of every time they show Chris Chibnall or Jodie Whittaker on their screen, they cut away for a moment to, I think it's Cartman saying, "Respect my authority," and then come back.
No, that's not happening.
I mean, you've touched on the second half of the news that's missing, though, right there, Red Shirt. And that is that a couple of the articles I read through before the streams started did indicate that Chibnall is staying on for the time being. And as excited as I am that the first female doctor played by Jodie Whittaker, whom we will lovingly call Dr. Karen, is gone, as excited as that makes me, she was not the root cause of the problem.
No.
Mm-hmm.
All the more damage if I can stay longer.
Pretty much.
Yeah, because he got her because he worked with her on Broadchurch, and he only likes working with people that he's worked with before.
Mm-hmm.
So that eliminates a lot of people if you go through. Yes, cry more.
I feel like I should just post that on my blog with no context.
because what was it? Somebody said, I think it may have been Gary, that he would probably been intimidated of having somebody as a doctor that would challenge him on how he was doing the show.
Were there ever? Because I recall hearing, and I'm not sure if this is because there was casting rumors or just like dream casting rumors of like Olivia Colman for the Doctor and all this kind of stuff. Was that true, or was that just like dream casting from fans? Or
I heard she was considered, and she's like, no.
Because I feel like in my mind I had this feeling that he said that to make himself look good. Like, oh yeah, I totally asked Olivia Colman, aka I asked her at a rap party one time, and she went, "Lols, no."
Yeah,
and,
she's playing Queen Elizabeth right now, so
yeah. I will always remember her as that one attendant doctor lady from the 11th Hour. That's how. Olivia Colman, major actress. Oh, she was a Doctor Who that one time.
I mean, there were recent rumors also about Gillian Anderson coming in, which I mean, I love Gillian Anderson as Scully.
She does her time.
I mean, she is a good chameleon actress. Yeah, if you saw her in season 1 of American Gods, I mean, she looked exactly like Lucille Ball and David Bowie. She is a chameleon, but for Doctor Who, I don't think so.
Oh, dream casting Lucille Ball as a Doctor.
It's some other universe. Yeah. She's running Doctor Who. I mean, you know Lucille's story with Star Trek. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But
no, I mean, I'm just joking. I never wanted a lady for the Doctor. I am still in that camp.
Yeah.
Like, call me a self-hating woman all you want. I never wanted a female Doctor ever.
Yeah.
I was happy for like the time, and then when I saw the face reveal, I'm like, who is she? You know, it's like if you're gonna at least do the first one, get someone kind of big, someone kind of everybody knows.
That was kind of the thing, was just like, if you're gonna be the Doctor, you have to have some personality. You gotta have some something.
Yeah,
you gotta have a weird face. You gotta have a commanding presence. You gotta have something.
You gotta have gravitas.
Yeah. Gotta have some chutzpah. But like Jodie is just so she's so bland and normie.
Yes, absolutely. So one of the things about the Doctor, particularly since the rebooted series, especially, and you saw this a lot through Tom Baker also, but the fury of the Time Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
And when necessary, the Doctor was the scariest motherfucker in the universe.
I've never seen
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
someone who was preeminently childlike and could be the wizard that you were certain he was going to completely kill every member of your family for 10 generations.
Mm-hmm. And put you.
And he was going to make it hurt.
What was it in the 2-part episode with David Tennant?
Family of Blood.
Family of Blood.
Yes.
I mean, putting you in a mirror for all time. You know, putting.
Oh yeah. Thank you for reminding me that they retconned that. Thank you for reminding me that got retconned.
Yeah.
I mean, you're taking all of the bite out of the Doctor. You love the guy, but then you get on his bad side, and he could do anything. You know.
Yeah, God. And Mary G comments that Brosnan, might be good, and I think Brosnan was a little bit of what they had envisioned when they hired Tennant. To be honest with you,
I can see that.
If you think about it.
I can see that.
So I think in a sense they already kind of did.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously Tennant was his own man, but I think that like the look that Brosnan had was a lot of what they got out of Tennant in a lot of ways.
I agree.
Yeah, but Tennant was a fanboy since he was a kid, so he's kind of like, well, I'm gonna.
I've also never seen Pierce Brosnan in that sort of. He has gravitas, but I would think that I have never seen him play it where after Tennant did get the role, I was not a fan around the time, but I have seen the clips and things, and to me, I have seen him use his gravitas, his measured control, and things like that. And he goes right from being that young, the doctor that everyone who appreciates that sort of youthful doctor that he was for his particular period. He goes right off of the end into something like you do not know and you do not understand this guy.
Mm-hmm.
He is something greater than the shell that you see him in right now.
Yeah, you see all the time that he's lived and all the pain, and it's just turned up to 1,000.
Yeah, I think Matt Smith was like deceptively amazing at that because
God.
he was
yeah.
like you know I joke I jokingly say everything lovingly, okay, people, but like Matt Smith has a weird face, but it's a very distinctive face. But he's also like a weird flamingo giraffe creature, but like and he was so good at playing like the lulz crazy random XD doctor, but then like he would scare you shitless when he got really dark and serious, like in A Good Man Goes to War, and or in like the friggin' like The Beast Below. Like he was so good at just turning that on, and you're just like, oh, like because like Tenet, like 10 was like handsome. But like at the same time, he kind of had a look that you're like, well, you know, he's like handsome, so like there could be an edge of malice to him. But like 11 was so warm and charming on his surface to the point where, again, when you talk about fandom taking one character trait and extrapolating it, like I was rewatching 11 stuff recently. I was like, God, 11 is way more dark and serious than people give him credit for. Like
I was watching 11 stuff for Christmas, and I was like, holy crap, I forgot.
Wasn't it Smith who made the comment about a good man doesn't need rules? Or was that Tenet?
I'm pretty sure that was... I want to say that was Tenet.
Ooh.
Well,
all right. Can I get my Google?
I've got to say, well, you Google that. Well, I got to say this. And while I totally understand the people who say Tom Baker will always be my doctor, that was the first one. The very first episode of Doctor Who that I ever watched all the way through, because I couldn't watch the early stuff when I was younger. I couldn't get past the sets and the costumes and the home video, the home movie, the 8mm home movie camera work in some of them. So the very first one I watched all the way through was The Waters of Mars.
Oh my God.
God, what a good one.
And I now have to find all of the Doctor Who that's been made in this era. And I started with Eccleston. And I went back and I watched the Christmas Invasion. I went, he's not the Doctor. Now, wait a minute. I saw this guy on Mars. This isn't that guy. And then at the end when he says, no second chances, that's the kind of man I am. And I went, okay, that's him. All right. Matt Smith comes in, and I already know, okay, I got to give the doctor some time, a new doctor some time, because I saw that in the Christmas Invasion. And I went, oh, he's funny. He's a bit goofy. He thinks bow ties are cool and fezzes are cool. I don't know if that was in the very first episode, but eventually came out. But at the very end of that, I bought 100% into Matt Smith as the Doctor and never questioned it after that, and enjoyed the rest of his tenure as the Doctor. Absolutely. And yes, he could very much get the look. And it's the one
episode, the 11th
yes,
hour.
he
got it.
Exactly. He got it. I mean, and Peter Capaldi was introduced to us with the look. At the end of the 50th anniversary special,
those eyebrows,
you see just those eyebrows. Yes, and,
you can take bottle tops off with these.
There was a blogger who for years was writing joking posts that were supposedly quotes from what's his name? He was the foreign.
Malcolm Tucker.
The big walrus mustache guy. He was Secretary of State, I think, at one point. John. Anyway,
that guy.
That guy. He was writing posts by his mustache. I'm like,
yes,
you could do an entire series discussing announcements from Peter Capaldi's eyebrows.
There was
they could be their own character.
There was definitely a Tumblr blog created in 2013 about PCAP's eyebrows. from that one
Yeah.
appearance.
Mhm.
I remember that.
There you go.
Did you create that account, Ginger?
That was not me. I can tell you the exact date and time I fell in love with PCAP. December 28th, 2013, my friend.
Thank you, Max Rottenstein. Yes, I just got it as well. John Bolton's mustache.
There we go,
Was
John
writing
Bolton.
posts on the internet.
There's at least one Babylon Bee article concerning John Bolton's mustache.
Yeah.
He did have quite the stash, man. I got it.
Oh yeah, he did.
I mean, like the guy or hate the guy, he did have quite the stash. Oh,
Right.
There's
we
another
talking about?
problem. There's I think another problem that the woke American fans today of the 13th Doctor are going to have with her new companion,
beyond his
John
penis?
Bishop. Beyond it. Well, part of it is he's from Liverpool, and I saw him on Top Gear playing himself. He was the star in a reasonably priced car, and I've been watching British shows since high school, since the mid '70s. I had no trouble understanding him, but then again, I also have watched All Creatures Great and Small, and I understand all those Yorkshire accents. People, Americans, especially younger Americans who have not watched a lot of British television of sorts and don't know all of the regional accents because they know mostly the London accents. Are probably going to find John Bishop just a little bit hard to understand unless he can temper his Scouser accent.
I mean, I feel like for TV, they kind of temper it, like, because, like, you know, you watch TV and the voices are kind of more enunciated than if you, like, meet a person in person, then they kind of just talk at you. I will say that in my experience, my friend who's a Chinese immigrant had the hardest time watching David Tennant because he's Scottish for putting on, like, a London accent, which just creates like a weird soup of an accent, and she could not understand him. Like trying, and she was learning, you know, English, and she could speak English, but she's like, I have to watch him with subtitles, because I can't understand a damn word that he's saying.
That was the thing with Capaldi because of his Glasgow accent. And I even remember putting on subtitles at least first 2 episodes because I wasn't used to it, you know. And they even asked him, "Would you be willing to put on a different accent?" He said, basically, no.
I mean, like I think, I think like I look
They get
back
a great
on it.
joke out of that, though, right? Though when he's in the alley with the bum, and he's like, "Oh, I'm Scottish. I can really complain about things now."
Yes.
Great.
I worked with
Peter Capaldi.
I worked with a
Frankly, the accent's enough.
Glaswegian. I worked with a Glaswegian and thought I could do accents. And one day he said, "Oh, I hear you do accents." I said, "Yeah, well, I could try." And I delivered a line that I thought was Glaswegian, and his response was, "Don't quit your day job."
I will say, shout out Glasgow. When I went there as a tourist, nobody in London gave a crap that I was from America, but the Glaswegians were really excited from the fact that I was from America. And I felt so at home there in Glasgow. It was a lovely place to be.
Yeah. From what I heard from people from Scotland, they are very excited when Americans visit Scotland because they're kind of like, "Oh, you care about us? Oh, we didn't know."
Oh, that comment.
Oh my God.
Apology, my friend. I love it. If anybody has not had an opportunity to interact with Geek Tripology, you really should check his channel out. The guy is an absolute hoot. He's the man who coined the phrase the Disney tragedy, which is the only way we refer to those 3 movies that didn't come after Return of the Jedi.
Disney fan films?
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
that's good.
I'm kind of going back half an hour in conversation, but do we think there's some kind of weird, nefarious, evil plot, or not evil, with Dan, the companion?
Well, they wouldn't introduce him that way. That's
Like, do
the
you think,
only
like,
thing.
is he a stealth new doctor? Is he a stealth master? Is he a stealth something? Like,
He's a stealth something.
Yeah, he's still something. I mean, oh, gosh.
The only comparable introduction of a new character ever made in New Who was John Hurt's War Doctor.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, like, but, you know, like, when the War Doctor was introduced, that, like, meant something. Because at the time, you know, we're thinking, we know the Doctor has X many regenerations. And now all of a sudden, like, whoa, shock, gasp. Like, this guy was one of them in the middle that was lost and we don't know about. It's like, that meant something at that time. But if what they're going to say now is, oh, Dan is yet another lost doctor, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They kind of blew that shot. Like, they even did that, like, twice. So if it's going to be that doesn't mean anything. And if it's going to be a stealth master, that also doesn't mean anything.
Because we got that with Missy already.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
The biggest shocker would be if that YouTube poop was accurate and like 12 does not become 13, Capaldi does not become Whittaker, but then the real twist will be that Capaldi wakes up in his TARDIS and then regenerates into John Bishop.
I would totally accept that.
I get 2 silver foxes in a row. I'm back. Sign me up, BBC. We're making 13 not canon. We're gonna get rid of if they can decanonize like the past 3-4 years, whatever, however you're gonna count time. Like, sure, fine. I will look into it.
So
I will put a pin in my calendar.
All right.
Ginger, is your boyfriend either prematurely aging or 20 years older than you? I'm just
Neither.
curious.
He's only no. You want to know the real trivia? His name is Dan.
And you're like,
Oh, is it?
oh.
So I'm like, this
Dan,
motherfucking
this is
show.
Yeah, it's like, Dan, this is you in 25 years.
Nah, he's only 5 months older than me, but like his name is Dan. And I was like, so not only is there like the Danny connection from back then, but now there's a hot companion named Dan, and then I'm like, there's too many Dans in my life, and now there's another Dan. There's too many Dans in Doctor Who.
Dan.
Too many Dans.
Dan.
I gotta say this. They didn't give him a last name.
Yeah, this is like it's so obnoxious. When they introduced Bill, they did the exact same thing. They're just like, it's Bill. And so I recall at the time the fandom was like, how do we like tag this or how do we look this up? And there's like, Bill the companion.
We didn't even see Bill though. We just got the name.
Yeah.
I thought we didn't get like a thing like that hallway scene. I think it was shown during like a soccer game.
Not until close to the season was airing.
Okay, I still don't think her name was. It was like, but we're not really given much. And it's like I just want like again, I'm the one really involved in the fandom stuff. So even if you're like, oh, it was a month in advance, well, that's a month with no tag for Bill other than Bill or Bill the companion. Yeah. Like how do you SEO that? Come on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking of like, what are they spinning? Unless they are really subverting expectations, and he's just a nobody.
Oh no, he's the next Rey Skywalker.
42.
Yeah.
There you go. He's Dan Skywalker.
Yes. Because honestly, I gotta say this: when I heard that that Capaldi was gonna leave and everything, my thought of who the 13th Doctor was, I thought just from a logic standpoint, if they wanted to be progressive, diverse, I thought it was gonna be somebody like Sacha Dhawan. I was like, when I saw him, I was like, that guy should have been the Doctor.
From what I've heard, he is also one of those who's like, he's wanted to be on Doctor Who, and I think he's wanted to be the Doctor, and then it's like, sorry, here you go, you get to be the Master in like 2, and you get to be sidekick to Jodie. Like, everything I've read about Sacha Dhawan, I was like, dude, this guy, I would have been super happy with him as 13.
Yeah.
Like, he has a unique look.
He's charismatic.
He's very charismatic. And he loved the show, and like he has that leading man like potential.
Yeah,
and I just felt so bad that he has to play second fiddle to Jodie.
Yeah, and he has the look that we all been talking about.
Yeah.
And Geek Tropology, as I've said, this guy is really insightful and brilliant. So the War Doctor was epic. But now we've got one of the mannequins from the first episode of Series 1 with the wrong gender clothes on.
Cancel this stream. We are enforcing gender binary. We are problematic.
Oh.
Now, we've already allowed that the new companion, Dan, may have the gender of Dan. It's not his really name, So we're totally cool. We're totally good.
I really just want to spread a bunch of rumors about like I want to like draw fan art of Dan and like just like As I joked, like some of my friends and I were, because if you guys don't know, there are things called ship names, and that's when you combine character names to make ship names. And so the ship name for 13 and Yaz is called Phasmin.
Phasmin, yep.
So I just like torturing Jake so much with this information. So like my friends and I were jokingly, like, we didn't give a shit about New Doctor Who. We're like, this show sucks. We're like, 13 and Graham. Thram is the new ship now. Like, so now my newest joke was Thram is out and Than is in.
Oh my goodness! I just thought of something. Given that they brought Captain Jack back in the special, which apparently was not
Fact.
It's easy for me to say. They brought Captain Jack back in the special. If they bring him back in the series where we have John Bishop as the companion,
I think he is coming
Jodie
back.
Whittaker. Well, Jodie Whittaker is. I mean, I don't think she does repartee or anything funny, but I've seen John Bishop as himself on a show, not in acting or in his stand-up, but he is a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
They could probably get one heck of a scene out of Dan meeting Captain Jack. I would watch just to see if I find out that Dan is the new companion and Captain Jack is going to be in an episode. I would watch that episode just to see if they had the testicular fortitude to write a scene for the two of them on their meeting, because I think that could be hysterical.
See,
It would be.
when I was watching the stream with Friday Night Tides and they were talking about Doctor Who and everything, I was going through Twitter and I was like, who's John Bishop? And I just was looking and I keep seeing that, he's the most unfunny comedian in the UK.
Which probably means that he's funny as hell and he's not.
Yeah.
Broke.
Yeah. It's like
exactly.
Ginger, drop the link in the private chat and I can get it into the regular chat.
Oh, should I share my gram?
It doesn't let you put the link in because you don't have a wrench.
Oh yeah, I know.
Come on.
Oh, you're on Instagram? I'm gonna add you right now.
I'm on everywhere, but if you just want my art and not like my baseball opinions, then you follow me on Instagram.
Baseball.
Go Cubs.
Sports ball? What's that?
Dude, Jake, the Cubs lost me sleep this past week. My heart can't take it.
I know.
Anyway,
but so a few people have joined us since we started the stream. So just to catch up,
this is a baseball stream now. No, sorry. Okay,
we've probably figured it out through the course of the discussion. But breaking news today that hit the wires like 15 minutes before the show started: Jodie Whittaker, the first female doctor played by Jodie Whittaker, whom we will lovingly refer to as Dr. Karen, has quit Doctor Who.
Women rejoice. It's sexist.
And there was much rejoicing.
Yes.
There was much rejoicing in Mudville.
Yeah,
yes.
Give us somebody who we could Google at. We got Dan. We'll take that for now.
Yeah. My favorite line, I shared this with my friend Dutch Kitty, was how you were like, and suddenly we're like meerkats popping up. Like, huh?
Yeah. It's like, ooh, hello.
Yeah, it was going to be a nice, quiet stream with me and Nick and Draco, and then this news hit.
Yeah, I was like, Jack, I finally have an opinion about something that I can talk about.
Yeah, me too. I was like, I'm good.
Everybody on deck now!
And I haven't had the chance to talk about it, and nobody at the office cares when I go in tomorrow, so I really got to get it out now.
Oh yeah, when we're done, I get to tell my dad because he's like, what?
Yeah, I mean the sad news though that we have not gotten, and that we need to follow this up is news of Chibi exiting.
Yes,
that's what we really, really need. And now, what could work nicely with this is they don't have anybody fucking lined up to follow up Chibi. There's nobody who wants the job right now.
Yeah.
So
right.
Chibi signs his resignation papers, and what happens? Well, they reportedly are going to film a regeneration scene that will be a part of what they're filming now. Whether that means it's part of the season 13, or Series 13 if you're across the pond, or whether it's part of the, I'm just going to call it the end of year special for 2021, since it's apparently not the goddamn Christmas special anymore.
Ambiguous festive activity special.
So sometime this year, the Wicked Witch is gone. Okay, and the first female doctor, played by Jodie Whittaker, whom we will lovingly call Dr. Karen, is gone at the end of this year. I just love saying that so much.
It shows.
Every time that somebody does it, I just lip along. I was like,
and
Yeah.
it's such a, and it marks like it's such a failure.
Yeah,
Like
and
the show failed so hard.
Yeah,
But
will
you
we
got-
get a walk of shame? Oh, that I wish.
yes.
Like you got one episode where you were like, "Holy shit, guys, this female doctor thing might work," and it was your premiere episode, which had all the hype, all the attention, again, all the
And it
hype,
was-
and then
Okay.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Now that it's out, she's gone. People will be watching, and the ratings will go up,
will they though?
especially for the regeneration.
Okay, but I like
Well,
I
that
don't.
tune into.
You'll have
See?
a spike
I
of
will,
regeneration, and then afterwards you have to have good material.
Yeah,
Yes.
but for the fans who can't wait for
Good.
Jodie,
Good.
well, no, but I'm just
That
saying,
word
What is this
again, I
good
know, but
material you
I'm
speak of?
kind of like trying to take it back. You know, I'm trying to take back good back into Doctor Who. It's
Yeah, I
maybe
mean,
that's not anything I can do about it, but
Clobbering Times makes an excellent point, and
Mhm.
that if Chibi is still there,
yeah.
this is completely meaningless news.
Yeah.
I mean, and he's absolutely right. But you know, Ginger, Kitty, both of you brought up that Chibi and Jodie were something of a package deal. I mean,
Yeah.
Chibs had some conditions
Mm-hmm.
before he'd even accept the job, and one of them was a woman doctor, of whom Jodie was his second or third choice, but he got her.
And like I said, it makes me question, like, was that accurate, or is that just him saying something? Because he's always seemed to imply that, like, Jodie was, like, it, because Jodie's all these, it's like, you know, she's worked with her before, she's pretty bland and inoffensive on the surface.
And she
And
won't question his.
She won't question things. She's not
Yeah.
a fan,
Yeah.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
here's the thing is that we know that there was a casting call, and that sometimes they will have fake casting calls
Mhm.
when they have somebody in the spot, just so that there's speculation and
Yeah.
all this. And
Yeah.
so, and I think actually Sasha was in that casting call, because I remember
That
him
just-
talking about that.
That just makes that so much worse.
Yeah, I think he talked about he said something either on Instagram or in an article that he actually did a casting call for Doctor Who, and he read for the Doctor. Yeah.
Just it makes me so depressed. Because
Yes.
again, like, it was kind of like when you read about Capaldi, and, you know, at a certain point, Capaldi was basically like, well, I'm never going to be the Doctor. I'm too old now. And he got to be on Fires of Pompeii, and he was super excited about that. He's like, yes, my one chance. This is fine. And he's on
Yeah.
Torchwood. And he's like, yes, I'm getting closer, but this is probably my one chance. And
Yeah.
so that you feel for him when he gets so close and yet so far. And I just feel with Sasha Dhawan, though, like, that this is it. Like,
Well, you can't be the master and then the
you
doctor.
can't be
I
the
mean,
master and then be the doctor, unless maybe the big twist is that all along Sasha Dhawan was the doctor. I don't know. Whatever.
Well,
maybe
maybe
it's a Valyard.
Maybe it's
It's
a
been.
All right,
You know?
Nick, let's do a Q&A here, buddy. So this is how Jodie got hired.
Yeah. I'm
You
listening.
woke.
Yes. You're
in! That's about how it went right there.
Oh
You know?
yeah. Oh, that's that's how it went down.
Yeah,
Kind of.
but
very-
I
go ahead.
no, okay. I just and this is the only bright spot in this, which I agree with everybody. If Chibnall stays, this doesn't change. He's just going to ruin another actor's tenure as the Doctor. But when this dropped in. When Ginger dropped this news into Discord, I thought I could have sworn that Chibnall at one point was being interviewed, and there was questions about whether Jodie could hack it as the Doctor, and he said, "If she leaves, I'm leaving."
Yeah.
Yep.
There
And
were
U.S. Dutch
rumors
Kitty
like
backed me up on that.
weren't there rumors like a year ago or so that I mean, I know there's always rumors about the people being on the ropes and them quitting and all that stuff, but
Right.
it sounded like at one point in time Chibnall was a lot closer to the chopping block than Jodie was.
Well, remember that big old what was it? Right. Yeah, before the lockdown and everything else. The big thing on set, and she quit, and then he said, "I'm gonna go with her," and they
About a year and a half ago.
Yeah,
Summer
Yeah.
of 19. That was.
Yeah, and so maybe this is some kind of repercussion from that in some ways.
I mean, I don't know. I never was sure how much I believed those rumors. I mean, I heard
Yeah.
them a lot,
Yeah.
and
Well,
but
I
there
think you're
seemed
getting close to it too, because if that was a rumor, because that didn't pan out, or at least it did not produce any substance, everything attached to that would be considered as rumor as well.
Mhm.
Unfortunately.
Yes, sadly, because it's absolutely true that without Chibnall leaving, I mean, okay, so we're going to get even woker. You know?
History's kind of theoric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going
Right.
to double down.
Yeah.
Unless, like I said, unless there's major shifts that are going to happen this year, which I mean, it sounds like every couple months, like it seems like the BBC is getting closer and closer to irrelevancy. And so, like, I just wonder, like, what, and I guess, like, that's the big question with Hollywood, too, like, what will it take to make them change their mind? But the problem is the fact that, like, I have some insight into BBC dealings, and as far as I'm aware, as of New Year's Eve 2020, they have no intention of not going woke. They are still full on it,
Right.
and they are actively rejecting good stories to fulfill wokeness.
I saw your story about that, and that just made me shake my head.
Yeah.
Well-
Are you able to share that in a public forum or no?
No, preferably not. It's not my
Okay.
story to tell. So,
Yeah. Let's
yeah.
just say
All right.
she's got some inside info about the fact that the BBC is rejecting good stories. So,
Yeah.
Yes.
The only way that they
There
would
is
even
public-
start turning around is going broke. Literally broke as they are now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Right.
There is also the public thing that we know about, not just Hollywood, but the BBC as well has gone full in on this idea of what they will accept as story material, and it is all of those intersectional points.
Yep.
All of
It's
those
the tick boxes.
Exactly.
Mhm.
It's the same thing that, if you want to win an
Without
Oscar, you gotta
saying
have
it.
the tick boxes too.
Yeah.
yes.
Without saying that, we're not going to talk about what we can't talk about here, but this is the problem with the storytelling. What will they accept? And if they won't accept things that people are interested in, they're just going to keep going down that road until they simply cannot. They cannot continue to make the decision because the financial issue becomes, and the BBC's slavery of the fee
Yeah.
attached.
Mhm.
Until that goes away, then maybe you will have it simply because, well, we have to make money. But I'm informing. I'm getting the message out. The platform. No, we have to make money. You are buy, do this or buy.
Yeah, I mean, it might actually turn into something what we were seeing with Lucasfilm. The Civil War going on in what we're hearing from Lucasfilm. There's people that want to make a story. There's Kathleen Kennedy's camp. We might see that with the BBC, that the few in there, like, we got to make money. We got to tell stories that people want to come back every week to,
Mhm.
and we see it with The Mandalorian. We hate to keep going back to The Mandalorian. They're doing it right.
Because it's the one show in
thing.
one of the big franchises that has been like, oh, maybe we should not make garbage.
Well,
There is another revived IP that really, really clued into it properly, and that was Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
yes.
From the sounds of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Cobra Kai is reverent of the past and moves the story forward introduces new characters that you mostly care about and want to succeed. At a minimum, you're interested in what's happening to them, and you understand and care about their motivations and the direction of their story, and you have fallen in love with the old characters again. And it is the absolute template for how to treat an aged IP. And let's face it, Doctor Who is an aged IP now.
Yeah, it's a legacy IP.
Let's not pretend otherwise, right?
Oh yes.
Right.
Anyone.
And that's what like makes it so cool.
Where did that go? Where did that come from, though, Jake? And where did it go? Where did Cobra Kai start?
Started on YouTube. Red.
Yeah.
Yep. And it went to
Netflix.
Okay. Where did Top Gear go? The real Top Gear, not the pretend Top Gear they do today.
Amazon.
Amazon. Right. I think that the BBC and Disney are in exactly the same place with their current properties, with the Star Wars that Disney spent so much money on, and the BBC with Doctor Who, which used to be a money spinner for them with products and everything else. Mm-hmm. If those companies are either going to fix them, sell them, or go broke.
You see, the only problem I see with Doctor Who is that there were so many people that created it, and they have to have separate licenses and everything. I mean, from the Daleks to K9 you go back to the TV movie with Paul McGann. From what I know that was going to happen, it was a license, so they had to change things because they couldn't get the Cybermen. They couldn't get the Daleks. So it was going to be its own little thing until it didn't happen. So now it's, back with the BBC.
And the BBC did that to Top Gear. But if the BBC's alternative is go broke because they're losing license fees, they may have to actually sell all of the licenses with Doctor Who.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise, why would you buy Doctor Who if the BBC retains the Daleks and the Cybermen and the this and the that and the other thing? What are you going to do? You've got a name
Doctor Who
best.
without it. Yeah,
exactly. It would be like buying Doctor Who without getting the TARDIS. Oh no, you can't use the TARDIS. Well, then what's the point? I know this is Armageddon for these companies because of this last year. Because and I've said this, Jake, I've said this before. Disney could afford to indulge KK and her crew. And the BBC was having a grand old time going woke. And because they had a fixed income and they knew what we had, they were going to do it regardless. Mm-hmm. So now Disney's revenues are in the toilet because their money spinner, the parks, are not giving them mountains of cash every month. Nope. And the BBC's money spinner, tax dollars, may go away.
Man of War said this earlier.
They have a whole new landscape to live in now.
Things cost a lot of money when you're not spending other people's money.
Yep.
Yes. I know that.
Yeah. So Geek Tripology is saying it's an old IP, talking about Doctor Who, but it went from being a MILF to the naked lady in The Shining.
And then
one
you
of the
put up
next
Father
highlight is
Miller's
priest.
message. I mean, did you really want to bring him in at this particular time?
Pablo is
I'm
so
sorry, Father Miller. Pray for us.
Father.
Father these people, I tell you.
Oh my goodness.
Holier than thou now on the panel.
Hey, we would need, hey, Ginger, you and me would probably need a couple of prayers from Father when we talk about shipping.
I like good, wholesome ships. I don't know what your problem is.
Like the Titanic?
Well, the Titanic is not a wholesome ship. So. Yeah.
Well, it was very holy.
But it was not whole. Is not in present condition.
Yeah. And Max is right that the BBC doesn't care yet about getting their house in order, but
correct.
Because to everybody's point, they've been playing with the house's money, not their own. But the changes in the license fee and the decriminalization of not paying it at some point is going to be a critical mass where if the BBC does not get their house in order and get their shit straight, they're going to cease to exist. I mean, they're going to go the way of Blockbuster, for Christ's sake.
Mhm.
You know, the thing that took down Blockbuster, it was not Netflix like the modern myth says. It was, in reality, what took Blockbuster down was they eliminated their most reliable income stream, which was late fees. So Blockbuster killed off their late fees, which was 2/3 of their annual revenue.
Mm-hmm.
And they ended late fees because people hated late fees so much. And when you cut off voluntarily 2/3 of your revenue, you go bye-bye pretty fucking quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
I mean,
still have-
that's like an Owen Wilson wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
It's a case of stupid business. If you take away that much of your revenue, of course you're going to suffer for it because they continue to operate as normal, which is a big problem for companies to change if they want to change the way of doing business. But yeah, I mean, this is the idea of dinosaur companies, isn't it? This is the idea of the dinosaur media. This is the idea of the BBC. This is the idea of Hollywood. If you don't change, if you don't roll with the times, then you're going to die. And there's this idea that they were going to try to change this new intersectional plan, and that was what was going to be able to support them. I don't know how they got it. I mean, I suppose being in bed with all of the people in media and your directors and people coming up the line and creating this idea that this was how we were going to change and this is how we're going to bring into the future. But they bet it all on the wrong horse, and now they're going down even faster because we've got this world where a lot of things are changing very fast, significantly faster than even they were planning on rolling with.
Yep.
Yeah, and the BBC's major source of income is going away rapidly. Every time I see an article about people canceling their license fee, is that it's just accelerating, at least to the extent that the BBC's ability to actually cancel the fee exists. So they bounce people around between the website and the call site and the website and the call center and the website and the call center to try to prevent people from canceling, but people are still doing it.
Right.
At accelerating rates. And that's going to hit a critical mass sooner than later.
Yeah, they talk about the decriminalization of the license fee in 2027? And I'm like, that's too. No, it's going to be sooner than that, and it's going to be dead by then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and V-Dub, this is why we love you, brother. He didn't know that about Blockbuster, and now the Blockbuster has gone the way of Blockbuster. Yeah. Which is very true.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you,
do
Time
wonder.
Warner.
I do wonder because like all the reviews of the Doctor Who New Year special were like it was like boring, but like nothing dramatic happened that we were kind of thinking would. And so it makes me wonder, like, and so, you know, either from here, the BBC can either be like, maybe, and this is the big gamble, it's like this Dan the Companion, like, are they going to go the right way? And this is a sign of turning over a leaf? Or is it just, well, it's a 45-minute time slot filler on a day that no one cares about, doesn't watch TV?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see how bringing in somebody for you to thirst over, Ginger, is really going to right
Hey,
the ship.
excuse me. So is Dutch Kitty. Pardon me. Don't blame this all on me.
I'm sorry. The two of you ladies.
Yeah. I mean, we're supposed to be their biggest. We're supposed to be their fans now. The women are supposed to out the guys.
As my friend said to me when she linked me the tweet, she goes, "For the first time since BBC marketing has declared young women to be their market, I finally believe them. But it's been 4 years."
now that they have given you some eye candy.
The majority of us love men.
Like, this is why I'm saying, like, if Sasha Dewan had been 13, I would have continued on watching the show because my head thing has always been what I want for the Doctor. I want a charismatic leading man.
Yep.
I have watched the show from I have watched stuff from 1 through 12. Like I have enjoyed all Doctors. Like and all the key is like I just need a charismatic leading man. Like I love Seven. People I know don't like Seven very much. I love him because I think he plays the role so well. That's all I care about. I just see someone who plays the role very well. And, you know, Jodie's a charisma void. But, like, really a key for me is I'm like, I just like having a guy. I like the dynamic of a dude and a lady, companion, and da-da-da-da. Like, that's just what I like. So, sorry.
Yeah. Ladies need the waifus, too. Yes, they do.
Yes, they're called husbandos. Thank you very much for CJ, this is why you got to have us on.
Yep.
Yes. No, I mean, I really do appreciate it because I do like having the larger view from various different folks. Because I mean, I'm one dude with my own opinion, and you know, I am not the only element of fandom. I mean, you know, Kitty, Ginger, I know that the two of you are hardcore fans, particularly when we're talking about Doctor Who and you know Star Wars type IPs, and the you know, so hearing your input matters, and it should matter to me as a fan, to the guys on the panel as fans, and importantly to the creators of the damn show.
Yeah.
And why these studio heads have got it in their minds that this narrow corner of blue-haired land whale Twitter is the world, I'll never understand.
It is something I can't wrap my head about because, you know, it's like if you look at, for example, like who has money, and I'm like, it's not a lot of these blue-haired screamers on Twitter.
Yeah, and
they're not.
They look to Twitter as if, I mean, we all know Twitter's not the real world, but they truly do look to Twitter as
they really do,
what the demographic wants. Like, sorry to like further, but I could just give a good relevant example. I know of a comic shop in the city where they were not obsessed with the current upcoming slate of DC Comics, and they send an email to DC asking if they make the books returnable going forward because the response at their shop's not good. And they said that they would refuse to do it because the response has been very good on Twitter. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Just to bring your point about demographics and who they look to. They really look to Twitter. They do.
I mean,
go ahead.
Without getting too far into the weeds or into some kind of silly conspiracy theory, I want to talk about the simple facts of it. We do know that there have been a lot of people for the last couple decades going through a certain education that has changed in systems such as college. I mean, we're talking about base level education up through college, that certain things have been being introduced and certain things have been more acceptable and certain things have led to certain behaviors. And you're getting a lot of that because you're getting a lot of kickback at when people start thinking, they really start questioning. Well, if the questioning is not allowed at the higher education levels, such as colleges, well, those people tend to get silenced. Meanwhile, people taking in jobs in television, in movies, in production companies, everywhere from where you work, Jake, from where you work, Ginger, to where the rest of us work, people with these ideas, they sort of let in the door. And then if they start looking to the self-replicating echo chamber of Twitter as their news source and their touch base, and they start using that, these individuals can then say, look, I've got this data from Twitter, and this supports our campaigns. And then certain people allow for that. And then you have a sort of dilution of the heads of all these companies. You have information that makes its way in, and then they can prove to themselves. It's not so much about the like I said, it's not so much about the conspiracy. It's just about that you let it in and then you use that information as your cycle, self-proving your
Almost like a Bible.
closed circle.
Yeah.
I got to read this comment because it's just so damn good. And VDub, this is why we love you on this channel, my friend. If you told me that TikTok or InstaScam was shaping things, it would be dumb, but at least I'd get it. but only if you have your Cash App ID in the profile.
The new one is PayPal.me only on Twitter.
Yeah.
At least that would be a cash flow that you could follow and say, look, there's where the money's going.
Yeah. Puberty blockers allowed, critical thinking forbidden. Yeah.
Actually, on that, real quick, I saw a article.
TikTok or puberty blockers?
Puberty blockers. Well, this is a step in the right direction. It's a step in the right direction because it was from the UK, and a high court actually is blocking puberty blockers from 16 and under. So it's a step in the right direction. Because
that's actually like a really important step in the right direction too.
And because they're like, wait a minute, kids under the age of 16 don't know that what they're really getting into, wanting to transition.
No,
what do we
they
know
don't.
that?
Yeah, they don't. They can't consent.
Yeah, they can't consent.
Yeah,
So it's a small step, but let's go there.
It is a really big deal though. Like that is a really it's big. You know?
I mean, look, if somebody who is an adult needs to do whatever it is they need to do to feel comfortable in their own skin, God bless them. Have at it. I love you. Whatever your pronouns are, you do you. Brother, sister, whatever. Right? I don't care. Totally cool. But a parent should never make that decision for a 10-year-old kid. Period.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things that basically, I think we all are kind of just sort of like kids can't consent to a lot of things, and that's why they don't get to decide their bedtime. They don't get to decide what food they eat when they're little. They don't get to decide.
And they don't get to go on to Geek Tropology's OnlyFans either. Absolutely not. I just no.
Like you're not supposed to be part of social media sites until you're 13. You're not supposed, like there's all these random things and rules, and yet and I think that's just like a big thing is it's like we don't let kids do a lot of things, and that's it. And and we're all like that's fair.
Yeah, it's Geek Tropology. We got to get you on this stream one of these days, my brother, because we need your hair to compete against Flava Flavs.
Well, I would say I know somebody who has 3 teenage daughters, 3 under the age of 18, and they're going the right direction because they see of all this wokeness and they're like, that's not us. So there is, I think, the younger generation is, seeing through the BS of Hollywood, especially because they are so connected.
Yeah, I know that my oldest daughter is going to be absolutely thrilled learning. Oh, breaking news for those of us who have joined the stream late, because there's been a few more who joined since the last time we were very clear about what the amazing news of today is. Breaking as of about 2 hours ago. The first female doctor, played by Jodie Whittaker, whom we will lovingly refer to as Dr. Karen, has quit. Doctor Who.
Yeah!
All over again.
No.
I don't know why I was doing the Price is Right theme, but whatever.
Yes, Pablo, if you were a princess, you would be beautiful. You're a beautiful man as you are, but
you already are. Dude, you've already gone too far. You already are. Dude, join the club, Geek Tropology.
So that dude does have one hell of an excellent head of hair. He really does.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
But yes, my oldest daughter is going to be absolutely thrilled to learn the first female doctor, played by Jodie Whittaker, whom we will lovingly refer to as Dr. Karen.
Just like shoot her text right now, man.
Be
like, hey. Or like take a screen cap and just like send that to her.
Yep.
If I were a princess, I wouldn't be named Dan. I'm gonna have to break the news to my boyfriend then. I'm sorry, dear, you can't be a princess.
That's such a common name. Oh.
Oh my god.
I don't know. It definitely leads to big speculation about who the hell Dan is, and is he really just a companion?
Because I mean, like, it is worth saying, like, the only other time anybody was ever introduced that way was John Hurt as the War Doctor. Like,
Yeah. I mean, we knew that Bill was coming as Capaldi's last companion prior to the. I mean, we knew Bill was coming as the new companion prior to the season starting, but there was no special trailer introduction like we got for Dan.
Exactly.
Especially the nice zooming into him and letting his, silver hair locks flow like that. No, we never got commanded that.
Kitty, come back. Come on. Pull back here.
No, I'm just
his long silver hair flowing in the breeze.
It was.
With the sunset light behind him, backlighting him with a halo above his hair of silver in the lights.
I'm just saying,
I'm getting the impression that you found him somewhat attractive, Kitty.
Oh, it made me go, maybe I watched it for the guy, But I'm just saying, the attention that it could have been just a split second or not even put his face, but say introducing John Bishop, and that's it. But no, they showed his face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They showed his face. So.
Absolutely.
And then we got like screenshots from somebody who saw some filming, and they're still filming right now, and he's on set. So,
yeah.
Well, yeah.
Unfortunately, we do also know that Jodie's on set.
Yeah.
And
is Yaz there?
No,
scissoring away from what I understand.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Can we talk?
You've been on Archive of Our Own too much.
All right, so
that's Jake is secretly an AO3 bookmark hoarder.
Yep.
I don't even know what that is. Now, our good buddy Flava Flavs has got to get rolling because he is a dad and he has important dad stuff to do. And right before the stream started, one of his young ladies popped into the screen and when we were doing our little pregame, and it was remarkable because she bears a shocking resemblance to my youngest daughter. It was crazy. But before you get going, Flava Flav, you got anything you want to plug? What do you got coming up on your channel, my friend?
Well, you're going to see the debut of the logo this week on my channel. I just hit 150 subs. That's cool. Best of 2020 albums this week. I also got a very hot take video called Everything Does Not Need to Be for Everyone coming out this week. I'm also going to be on Yelling at Parked Cars tomorrow night with Comics Division.
Outstanding.
I'm going to be on Xflix and Chill back with Latino Slant this week. So a lot coming your way, and of course this thing on every Sunday, and a pleasure to talk to all you fine human beings on the panel and to the chat. So thank you all, and you all have a magical evening. Come check out my channel. Hopefully if you like it, give it a subscribe, and the rest will be simply history. All right, take care all, have a magical evening, and I'll see you soon.
All righty, and I have dropped a link to your channel in the chat, Nick. Thank you so much for popping by, my friend. Oh, dang it. I didn't even finish thanking him. He's out.
JT, I've gotten the call that Mrs. Redshirt has finished making dinner, and I need to drop off the stream, and I'll monitor the chat on my phone as best I can.
Very
you guys
good.
Have a great evening. Carry on. Do not stop. Talk to you all later.
Right.
Thank you.
Never give up. Never surrender.
Never surrender.
That's right. That's right. All right. Well, to be honest, we are pushing 2 hours right now. And I think probably about time to go ahead and wrap her up. And it was, as I said at the beginning of the stream, you've got, best laid plans, right? We're going to talk about Cobra Kai. We're going to talk about The Expanse.
It's great.
We're going to talk about the stand falling and tripping flat on its face and lying down. And then the news that the first female doctor, played by Jodie Whittaker, whom we will lovingly call Dr. Karen, has quit Doctor Who, hit the waves. And we just had to completely retool the plan
We're
because
salivating.
yes.
I have so many opinions and things to say.
Yes.
But most importantly, the first female doctor, played by Jodie Whittaker, whom we will lovingly call Dr. Karen, has quit Doctor Who. I get it. I love saying that whole thing.
I keep becoming a bobblehead when you do it.
All right. Let's go around the horn real quick. Final thoughts on the first female doctor, played by Jodie Whittaker, whom we will lovingly call Dr. Karen, quitting Doctor Who, and anything else you want to get into. Draco, my friend.
Na 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 na. Hey, hey, hey. Goodbye.
Just dead.
So anything you got coming up you want to plug, Draco?
Well, I'll probably continue to promote. I'll promote a mega billionaire company's one good show. As I've been doing for the past couple weeks, I'll probably be doing another little one of my teaser promos, but we'll see if anything else comes out of that. Otherwise, you can find me around on many other channels in the fandom. Like, share, and subscribe. Look at all these people making excellent stuff for you to watch. It's so cool. I can stop. I'm serious.
All righty, and I have dropped your link into the chat as well, my friend. Check out Draco. He's been putting together a few, as he said, sort of, do you want to know more videos about The Expanse? All right, Kitty, final thoughts on the first female doctor, played by Jodie Whittaker, whom we will lovingly call Dr. Karen, quitting Doctor Who.
Well, it's good that one half of the problem is gone. Even though it's, whatever. But we gotta get Chibnall gone to really feel safe.
Yep.
But I'm glad that I hope it's turning the tide. That's the fan in me. That's the fan for most of us. We have hope. And sometimes that's our downfall, but real fans have hope. And this is what the show needs, is hope. The Doctor was supposed to be a symbol of hope, but now the fans have to be that symbol that Doctor won't be. So.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
All righty. And finally, not Ginger. Anything, final thoughts on the first female doctor, played by Jodie Whittaker, whom we will lovingly call Dr. Karen, quitting?
I haven't watched the show since Twice Upon a Time, and I have no plans on watching the show in the near future. It ain't happening. I don't care that she's leaving. I'm not watching. I don't care if they got a new companion who caters to my very specific interests. I'm not watching. I'm hopeful. I hope that things can turn around, but I mean, I am a wait and see person. So I will wait and I will see.
Yep.
So
have to be dragged back kicking and screaming.
It's very interesting to me that they have cast somebody who specifically appeals to the two of you ladies very directly and very strongly, and you still are not ready to go back. And that should tell the BBC something. It should really be a giant blinking neon sign that says you fucked up.
Like real bad.
Yeah. You mess with the lore, you mess with the fans.
Amen.
Oh yeah, also follow my Instagram. Thanks to people who follow me during the stream.
Yeah, I don't have a channel, but I love streaming with other people, and I'm always in the chats of Neurotic Doomcock and with Geeks Gamers.
Yes,
you always see me there.
I appear randomly.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Lee Neeson's chin. I do in fact have a boyfriend. You can meet me online.
But I don't.
All right. So final thoughts. By golly, thanks everybody for coming today. And again, it was sometimes you just have to think on your feet and switch things up because something important happens. And today was one of those days. We will definitely return to our ongoing coverage of The Expanse. We'll definitely have a big in-depth talk about Cobra Kai sometime over this coming week. I stayed away from spoilers in the previous stream that I did on it because it only been out for a day, for crying out loud. You know, that's too early for mega in-depth spoiler discussions. And of course, the stand is no longer standing. It's now lying flat on its back and dead because it sucks. But I'm going to continue reviewing it until the end because that's what we do here. So, all right, that sounded like a Sonic there.
I heard a Sonic.
Yeah, it was the phone. It was the phone.
Oh, okay.
All right, everybody, have a good evening. We'll catch you later
Sorry.
on. We have had, anywhere between about 10 and 20 people throughout the stream, which is a wonderful, wonderful Howling About Entertainment show. Thank you, everybody, for coming.